Yep.
Oh,
Okay, so we were just at Rearguard Falls. Now we're at the Rearguard Falls Kinder Morgan pump station. You can probably hear the pumping noise in the background. This is the site of the existing Kinder Morgan Trans Mountain pipeline, which is one of the only ways tar sands oil is making its way to the Pacific Ocean right now, the one pipeline that's carrying it directly there. And we're on our way to the tar sands healing walk with ForestEthics as well as a whole bunch of other groups in support of the Fort Chipewyan First Nation, trying to bring some attention and awareness to the human rights issues associated with the extraction of tar sands oil. We're talking about some of the most dangerous, toxic, climate-changing oil on planet Earth as we run out of traditional sources of oil on planet Earth. This move to more and more extreme forms of oil is being pushed by a number of companies, and one of the biggest is Kinder Morgan, run by Richard Kinder, former Enron executive, now one of the richest men on planet Earth. And here we are at one of the kind of critical points close to the headwaters of the Fraser River, one of the most important salmon-bearing rivers in British Columbia, really the lifeblood of our province. It I think highlights the intersection between human rights issues and environmental issues. The tar sands, even without a major oil spill, are spilling toxins into the communities in Fort Chipewyan, into the bodies of the animals that are being eaten by First Nations people, and ultimately resulting in higher levels of cancer, even according to the Alberta government, in these communities. So they've invited the world to come and bear witness to what's happening in the tar sands. We're on our way there. And we thought it was important to stop along the way to show one of the critical pieces of infrastructure that's really facilitating that oil getting to the expanding markets on the Pacific coast. This company, Kinder Morgan, the biggest pipeline company in the world other than the government of Russia, is working really hard to try to convince people in British Columbia that they're simply going to twin this existing pipeline. This is a pipeline that was actually originally built in 1952 to bring oil to people for consumption in British Columbia, for Canadians to consume their own oil. And of course, as we're now much more aware of the effects of climate change, the effects of toxins on our bodies, we should be on our path off of oil. And what Kinder Morgan wants to do is not only double the number of pipes, but they want to drastically increase the amount of oil, and a very different kind of oil for a very different purpose. They want to bring tar sands oil exclusively through this new pipe in the form of diluted bitumen, which is basically a blend of benzene and other highly toxic chemicals with this very high sulfur content, very carbon intensive tar sands oil. And the idea is to bring that to the coast for them to export explicitly for their profits. Not only is there nothing in it for the people of British Columbia economically, other than a heck of a lot of risk to the jobs of people working in tourism, working in local economy, folks whose property values could be affected if there was an oil spill. But also there's really nothing in it for the people of BC in terms of our role in the world. If we're going to be stewards of this land, as we really have a responsibility to, what stands in our way is things like this proposed project that Kinder Morgan is trying to bring forward. If we want to be part of the solution instead of part of the problem, we have to say no to this pipeline. And ultimately, we really need to take a close look at what the impact the existing pipeline is having already, and look at how we can phase out our dependence on oil instead of drastically increasing our export of oil through this territory and increasing the impact on the already heavily impacted people in Fort Chipewyan, as well as the folks who live along the route, and the extremely important, sacred, and ecologically fundamentally important areas like the Fraser River and the headwaters, which we're so close to right now as we stand here at Rearguard Falls.
This is sad.